Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for another Who the F*** Said That? If history only remembers 1 in 1,000 of us, then the future will be filled with stories of who we were and what we did. Who the F*** said that? Might have stumped you there. It feels very... Is
for most of
the right word for
most
that one?
we're talking over each other today. We're really out of sync.
I know. It's terrible, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, I said, you stump me most weeks. I'm generally not very good at this.
Yeah,
Every now and then
I
get one, but
I've got the list and I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
Like, did they really? Anyway, it is a little bit topical at the moment. So
Sure.
For those playing along at home, make sure you listen to the end of the show to find out who the f*** did say that. Let's start the show. Welcome to episode 240 of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. Today is Monday the 19th of November 2018. I'm your host Snoogs, and here with me, flying solo again this week, it's my great co-host Grejio. How you doing, bro?
I am great.
Great. You're
Great.
starting the night off with another...
Warning. This section of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast has been dumped for unauthorised use of a word previously placed onto the banned list. The rest of the show will continue after a few short moments. We do apologise for any inconveniences.
Well, before we start, here's this week's show in preview. We'll have video game discussion, followed by a what if. Then we've got everyone's favourite segment, What's That Sound? And closing out the show, we've got last words. So, on with the show. Actually, hold on a second. Before we get started, I wanted to fill everyone listening in on just some little minor details. I wanted to remind you all about our website over at AussieGamersExpress.com. There you'll find news, reviews, and the occasional outlet of mental lunacy from one of us. While you're listening to this, be sure to leave us a review on your preferred platform, as this really helps us to get noticed amongst the many awesome podcasts out there. Lastly, the biggest way that you can all help is to share us around. Share us on your social media and help us grow this already amazing community. So that's enough of a dribble from me. On with the show. All right.
I like to be shared around.
You like to be shared around?
Yeah.
Don't we all, I think?
Yeah.
Well, mate, video game discussion. I'm taking it off this week because I have a rant. Now, my rant involves Red Dead Redemption number 2, and it has very little to do with the game. So I'm going to put a shout out here to Editing Lucas, because the reason for this rant is I have been put in a of a mood. Now, you may ask why, Pat, you're usually pretty easy going, go with the flow. Why is it that you've been put in this mood? Something's come out today. I've made it known here. I've made it known just about everywhere I do anything social media with regards to gaming or, reviews, anything like that. I do not like clickbait. And I believe that people need to look at things holistically, not funnel down onto one tiny little point. So, first and foremost, I think if you're going to write about a game and anything to do with entertainment, you have to show proof that you have been involved in it in some way or another. Whether you have played it for more than 2 fucking minutes, have a close understanding of what's going on, and you need to show things holistically. You can't have a look at one tiny little part of this issue. Now, the reason for me saying this is Red Dead Redemption is now getting slandered through a few media pieces today that have come out, which are stating that Red Dead Redemption 2 encourages the mistreatment of women. Okay? Now, you've played a shit ton of hours. I've played a shit ton of hours. Red Dead Redemption in no way whatsoever shows and encourages the mistreating of anything. Fuck, if you kick a dog, you get the whole town after you. There is no mistreatment anywhere. If anything, this game has some of the strongest female characters that I have seen in many, many games, especially of something that's set in the period.
I would also suggest that a lot of the male characters are the most progressive male characters of their time period.
Exactly.
For that exact reason.
Exactly.
The fact that Arthur literally, I can see, one of the points that they're coming from.
I'll explain where the point's coming from once you explain yours.
Yeah. So there is one point in the game where you're talking to someone who's talking about votes for women. Now, I've seen videos of how people react in that just for a laugh. But if you actually sit down and listen to the conversation itself, Arthur is extremely progressive. Even though he's being cynical, he's still quite progressive in his answer.
Yes.
As opposed to someone of that time who literally would have told that woman to get back in the kitchen.
From that time period, they probably just would have shot her in the street.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
That thing right there is exactly where this rant comes from. Because someone on YouTube has gone and done... They've just gone and been an asshat. With a game like this, your choice. That you can be an asshat if you choose to be. You know? So what they've done is they've lassoed the woman that was talking about being allowed to vote and dragged her through the streets. Now, of course, you get all the keyboard warriors that have jumped on and said, the only good feminist is a dead feminist, and all this bullshit that's carried on with that, and all this crap that's, started from this video and other videos popping up that are like it, and this is what I've done, this is what I've done. And now I've seen people grab onto that one tiny little bit and run with it.
Yep.
This is what Red Dead Redemption's all about. Red Dead Redemption is only about, being evil to minorities, to, putting down women. They even brought up, I'm not going to name who did this article because I don't believe in giving them free publicity because they're fuckwits. They've even brought up the Me Too movement. Now, for those who are unaware, the Me Too movement is a big movement that's worldwide. That's, men and women from all over the world that just, it's about equality and things like that. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I don't want to incorrectly get into what it's exactly aiming for and whatnot. But this is another thing that they've added to this story to try and get a rise. And this is what I mean. This person has obviously not played the game. They obviously have no one around them that's played the game, or they're not listening to people around them that have played it. Because if they did, they'd know just how inclusive and in-depth the rest of it was. You think?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, look, no, I agree. This is sensationalism at its best, and we've seen it so many times this year, and not just this year, ever since computer games existed. People pick things out of computer games, or pick things that other people do in computer games, and make out that they're the devil, and these games are evil, and just like rock and roll music used to be for the devil, computer games are that at the moment. They're corrupting the young and and all that shit. But the fact is, This is a Rockstar game, and to be fair, the treatment of women in this game is far better than any other Rockstar game before.
This is probably one of the
and
most
I mean
sedate
by a
Rockstar
long
games.
margin.
Yeah,
Like by a long margin.
indeed.
GTA treats women worse.
Hmm.
Essentially, if you want to look at the stereotypes of women in GTA, they're literally they're hoes, they're
It's,
and they don't.
yeah.
There's not very many strong female characters in GTA 5 in any of the GTAs, and the ones that are there are generally arm candy or prostitutes or some female of some either airheadedness or
Yeah, there's nothing,
No,
no real
loose
strength
persuasion.
about them.
no, not at all. And
Whereas-
to be fair, you can go around, you can have sex with a prostitute, shoot her, and get your money back.
Yeah.
Like that right there. There's an incentive to treat women badly. There is not one point in this game where I thought it was in my interest to treat a female badly, except for the one that I caught for a bounty, in which she was just talking too much, and I got annoyed, so I socked the one and shut her up.
But again, you do that to every bloke you pick up as well.
That's right. Equal opportunities. Like I've smacked the blokes as many times as I smacked the women in that exact situation.
That's the thing. It's a bounty. You're not going out of the way. You're not dragging them through the streets. You're picking them up, putting them on the back of your horse, and taking them in for money for the bounty. And I don't get why in this day and age that someone is allowed to, and they constantly get away with it. They are writing something that is misinformed. And it's flat out sensationalism, and it just needs to stop in my books.
You know what? I reckon we should write a letter to the most powerful person on earth, because he'd be all over this. Because this is fake news. I think DT would be all over this, man. If we told him about it. Just go, this is fake news, man. Like this person's complaining about this woman was talking about wanting votes, and I know you're pretty much against that.
Oh, God.
And she called men dumb, and so the reaction was this dude punched her in the face, lassoed her, dragged her through the city, tied her up, threw her on the back of a horse, damn near drowned her, riding through the swamp, and then fed her to an alligator. Now, is that an extreme reaction to being called dumb? I don't know.
Slightly.
But at the end of the day, it's one person, and yes, it was probably a little distasteful. It was probably a little it was a risque.
The thing is, like,
but it was still supposed to be a joke.
It was no, but that's the thing. Like, this is distasteful. I'm not talking about the action that they did. I'm talking about the reaction that someone has gone and noticed this tiny little thing where it's just fuck it. I don't care anymore. I'll keep going on about it all night. So I'm going to go into some more Red Dead news, which is actually intelligent and comes from a place of actual knowledge, and that is that I'm now on to the 5th act of Red Dead.
Nice.
And wow, it has taken off.
Cool.
All that slow, arduous slog that you had to go through, it got to a point where it was midnight, and it's like, I'll just push through to the next little bit. It won't take too long. It's 12:30. I'll just push through the next little bit. And then 1 o'clock, and like the head's hitting the keyboard. Okay, that's enough. I've got to call it here, but I don't really want to, so I've just got to push it to the next bit till I can save it again and go.
Yep.
And wow, it's just gone absolutely ballistic, and it literally come out of nowhere. I thought it was going to keep doing what it was doing and how it was going, and then the end of Act 4 and the start of Act 5 just blew me away.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because I'm in 4 at the moment. I'm just pushing through the story. Having said that, I enjoyed how the end of 3 finished. Like, I enjoyed that last mission. That was pretty cool.
Yes. Yep.
And it was promising how it was going to feed into 4, but then it kind of really fizzled out. So I was like,
then it went back to the same as what you were doing before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but it's I'm glad that you have reached a point where you feel as though it's now starting to pay off. That's a long burn to wait for a payoff. That's
yeah. It has been it's been a long burn, but I tell you what, mate. Like I suppose the way you could say it's the setup and the way that it's carried through that setup has been fantastic, and it's built it to a point where what has just happened, if you hadn't had that setup, you wouldn't have got the feeling that you did, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just trying to pick my words.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But yeah, that feeling and that combination that you have with all those characters, you know, you spent a lot of time with each and every one of those characters and what they all mean to you and what they mean to the group and all that sort of stuff, and spent time learning about, you know, their own backstory and their own personalities. And then, you know, it makes everything that keeps going on, it just makes it so much better and so much more intense. That's what I found out anyway.
Yeah.
So how about yourself? Have you been playing a bit more?
Yeah, no, I have. So I played a fair bit over the weekend. So I smashed out at the end of 3 and belting my way through 4. I'm not sure how far through it I am, but it sounds like we're planning to get out of Dodge by the sounds of it, without giving too much away.
Yeah.
I did have a moment though. My kids were sitting down eating dinner, and they can see the TV from where they eat, and I was playing. And normally when they're watching, I try and keep it fairly low level, because it can get a bit full on at times. And I sort of stumbled into a mission thinking that it would be fairly straightforward and tame, and it was the mission where Kieran comes back to camp.
Yep.
So at that point, I pretty much had to tell my kids, yeah, you might want to look away right now because I don't really need you watching this.
Pause.
It's well, there's no
bedtime,
point
isn't it?
pausing,
Yeah.
because then it's like right smack in the middle, paused on the image, and I'm like, no, don't need to do that.
No.
So,
Yeah.
just tried to distract them as the story was going on around in the background. For those that haven't got to that point yet, I'm trying not to spoil it for you, but for those that have gotten past that point, you'll know what I'm talking
You know
about.
exactly what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so that wasn't fun. Anyway, but look, it's... I really don't have much to say about me playing it, because it's literally just me playing it. I'm going through... I play some of the story, I go do some side stuff. I've met some side strangers now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, like, because I've gotten to the point where I'm very much just pushing the story.
Yeah, right.
But prior to that, I did a lot of side stuff.
Yeah, I'm still trying to keep it fairly level. Still trying to do stuff as it pops up. So that way I'm not sort of losing track of all the other stuff that I can do and get, and because what I've found in games like this previous, I know Lucas is very big on play the main story and then do all the side stuff afterwards, but I found with games like this, it can sometimes be really hard to do some of the side stuff after the game's finished.
Yep.
Because you got to remember where stuff is, you got to relearn where stuff is, but you find that if you do it while you're around the area, it's a good chance that you might be able to get some of the stuff done really easy, because it's there and it's available to you right there, and then you'd have to go riding halfway across the map just to get, like one particular carcass or something.
Well, one thing in particular that I'd like to bring up for that is I did the Gunslinger's Quest.
Yep.
Yeah, the Gunslinger's Quest, you walk into one of the bars I think it's the only bar in Valentine, and you meet an old gunslinger and a bloke that's writing his memoirs. Now, the old gunslinger's given this guy a list of, people that can vouch for him and give him stories and all that, blah, 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 blah. And it's your job then to go and see these old gunslingers out in quest, out in the wilderness, and find information off them. Now, I won't go into what you do, but it's given me some really cool side information, and it's not just a fetch quest where you go and do it and then go back to the bar and they're there. You just sort of hand it over.
Yep.
They disappeared. They said to come back to the bar and look for us, which I did, thinking, it was just a fetch quest and I'll get a little bit of dollars, whatever. I've gone back. They're not there. And then, a good 10, 15 hours later in the game, a little markers come up over the bar flashing. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. Gone back to the bar and they go, oh, yeah, this has got blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're not here now. I heard they're renting a room on one of the boats down in Saint Denis. So, oh, okay, well, that's kind of cool. So off I went, off down there. And still haven't found them because I haven't bombed it because I've been going through the main story. But, yeah, very cool little sort of side note that was put on it.
Yeah, I've done the same one. I haven't had the bar moment come up yet.
Yeah.
But I did that very early on, and look, I'm gonna say, if you haven't done it,
you need to.
It's profitable to do it at the beginning. You don't get anything from the quest, the reward from the quest, but there are some things you can pick up on the way, which are very helpful.
Very, very helpful.
Early on in the game, very helpful. Like, all right, I'll just spoil it. I got a gun out of it. I've pretty much used that gun the whole way through the game. I haven't swapped it out yet.
I'm the same. Both
I assume it's the same one, the one on top of the train.
Yep.
So look. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, those are the things I'm kind of doing. But the things that I'm actually more interested now in is that I want to talk about when it comes to Red Dead is the stuff that other people are doing. So I've been watching a bit of YouTube of late, and there's some really interesting stuff that people are doing just for shits and giggles. So there's one series of videos I've started watching called Dirty Arty.
Okay.
And essentially the first chapter is they just see how filthy they can get Arthur to be. So, they don't change their clothes. They have their pistol out all the time. So instead of walking, they just dive everywhere. So they're just constantly rolling around in filth. Then the second chapter is they grow a beard. They're trying to grow it as long as possible. And they're also trying to make him fat. So he's just constantly eating. And on top of that, it adds to this character that is Dirty Arty. So every time he's eating all the time. So he's eating like canned corn and baked beans and just throwing the tins everywhere. And, there's some golden moments where they'll be like riding along and they'll eat some beans and throw it, and it like lands at the feet of the paper boy. It's like as he's calling out, anyone want a paper, and you just like throw a can at him. Or they rent rooms and they live in rooms, and then they're just lying in rooms all dirty, and they like throw cans all through their hotel room. Like the maids must be like getting driven insane kind of thing.
Brilliant.
Yeah, look, it's that kind of stuff that I love now watching people do. They come up with their own little stories and shenanigans, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm really enjoying watching. So definitely check out Dirty Arty. I think it's actually a GameSpot thing. GameSpot have decided to do this Dirty Arty thing. So check it out on YouTube. If nothing else, Chapter 2, the one where they grow a beard, is incredibly funny. There's some other funny stuff in. I don't want to spoil it for you, but there are some moments that are just pure gold. There's a part that made me almost laugh enough. I laughed myself stupid. Paused it, went and got Rem, and said, "You have to come watch this." So yeah, that's really what I'm finding interesting about Red Dead at the moment. As much as I'm still very much playing the game, enjoying the game, and slowly but surely unlocking everything there is to unlock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finding everything that there is out there.
Yeah. My next sort of quest thing that I want to try and do outside of the story missions, I want to do the pig farm mission, where you can do the pig farm robbery.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it's
Okay.
it's one of the creepier home invasion do. It's flat out creepy. You thought the dude in the swamp enticing you in to get a little bit of it's on par with that. So.
Okay. I'll have to find that.
Yep. It should be if you know how you can press. I think it's left on the D-pad and it brings up that list of stuff you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be surprised if it's not listed in there from where you're up to.
Okay.
It should be the mission should be available in that list. So I know it is for me. I don't know whether it's just I've had the right interactions to bring it up. I think not, but check there. So.
Yeah, I'll have a look because I don't think I've got anything side mission wise outside of Saint Denis at the moment.
Like I said, it's not popped up. I think you have to select it, or you might even just have to find the place and go. It's just south of Emerald Ranch. There's a big pig farm.
Okay. Yep.
Don't miss it. It's got a big fat dude out the front.
All right. I know what my mission is tonight then.
Yep. So.
All right. Well, I've got some more news for Red Dead actually. Red Dead Online. So I went and had a listen to a few different people today who have claimed that they've done interviews with people from Rockstar and all this sort of jazz. So I've put this bit of this list to go through and have a look at. And, things that you can sort of are going to happen in Red Dead Online. So release dates end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much anything from today onwards, I would say. In-depth character creation. So the character creation is actually going to go pretty in-depth, more so than GTA 5 did. And you've got your usual staples plus a few things more. To start, apparently you break out of jail. So it's that's sort of the start of the story and how it starts rolling for the online side of it. A lot of people are speculating that that's out of Mexico. You've heard the glitch that some people have found where you can actually glitch into the Mexico part of the map.
Right.
Yeah, and there's apparently they've found what looks to be a footprint of a jail and blah 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 blah. There is a main story plus side stories, and these all promote teamwork. Griefing is very much a no-no. Now, anyone that's played GTA 5 realises that griefing just sucks. There's people that have been playing it forever that are level 100 and something that fly around in jets or shoot through walls because they've still got some of the old hacks or anything like that, and it's just painful to actually play. But in Red Dead Online, if you keep getting killed by a certain player, you can actually inform the law, and that will give them a bounty.
G'day everyone, Editing Lucas here, just commenting on that little point there. I think that is called Dibba-Dobba mode. Back to the show.
So bounties aren't automatic. Bounties either you have to be seen committing a crime, the same as you do online in the single player campaign. But if you get rid of that witness, then you got away with it, sort of thing.
Yep.
Or if you get killed numerous times by the same person, in the dead screen, it'll come up and say, inform the law. And you tell the law, and they get a bounty, and everyone on the map can see them.
Right.
You can buy property and horses, as well as carriages.
Yep.
You can create posses, go hunting together, go and, posse versus posse sort of thing, and carry on. You've got all the usual parts of the single player, so you're fishing, hunting, exploring, all that sort of jazz. There is no lasso or lasso.
See, I said this weeks ago. I said they need to not have the lasso because that's a griefer's delight. That thing.
Yeah, well, I think there is one, but you can't use it on other players. So whether you can still use it for hunting or whatever, but you can't use it on other players. You can have races, you can have duels. There's the bounties, like I said. They're 32-player lobbies. There's 50 level cap at the moment.
Yep.
So 50-player levels. And there's a Rockstar version of Battle Royale.
Of course there is.
Whatever that means.
I said this when we first heard Rockstar was bringing out Red Dead 2. What did I say?
Yep.
Winner, baked bean dinner, didn't I?
Baked bean dinner, you did.
So I'm calling it. I am like Nostradamus for Rockstars on Red Dead Online, aren't I?
You are, mate. You've picked a few things there.
Including your nose.
Awesome. I am. Just call me Artie.
It's cool, Artie. Dirty Artie, eh?
Dirty Artie.
Or would that be more? A dirty Artie.
The dirty.
Dirty. All right. Well, get us out of
Playing my
Red.
belly button, as I said.
Oh, God. Oh, well, mate.
You
Have you
right
got any other Red Dead news you want to share with us, mate?
No. Red Dead's Red Dead. It's
Red Dead's been done?
Yep. I have one snippet of it, but that'll come into something else, so we'll talk about it then.
All right. Well, do you want to let us know your little bit of tidbit of Cyberpunk, mate?
A little bit of tidbit. It's a lot of a tidbit, to be honest. So I've got lots of rumors and bits of news and all sorts of things. I've been, like I said, I've been watching a fair bit of YouTube of late in the last little while, and there's been a bit of murmurs about Cyberpunk, and so I've started watching a lot and reading a bit. And these are some of the things that I've sort of derived and come up with and found from other people's diggings. I can't say all my diggings. It's just me reading and other people digging. But so the first thing is a possible release date.
Yes.
And it's not what we thought.
Okay.
So the rumors are that we're looking at a release date of next year.
May next year? May, June?
No, as in May. Maybe next year. The rumors 2019,
2019
release. And this is based on a tweet from one of the Turkish, what's the word I'm looking for? Distributors. I want to use that. Let's say distributors, because I can't remember. Anyway, the company is called Bilcom. They had a tweet out that inferred that CD Projekt Red's next big thing would be out in 2019. So we know their next big thing is Cyberpunk. So if you put two and two together, it creates a rumor.
Yes.
So there's a good chance that next E3 we could be hearing a release date for this game.
Not from Sony.
But yeah, not from Sony. But that's all right, because there's been a few more little things, and it's pretty much Xbox biased. So another bit of information is a little bit more recent from XO18. XO18 had a video clip that showed a bunch of games that were getting an enhanced experience for the One X.
Yep.
In that video, there's a few frames worth of a title for Cyberpunk 2077. So deliberately hidden in there, but definitely part of the clip.
Okay.
So this leads more to this idea that it's going to be this gen as opposed to next gen, which is what we were talking about when we saw it at E3. We were like, this is going to be definitely next gen.
Yep.
Another little bit of information based around that was CG Magazine did an interview with the lead cinematic dev for Cyberpunk, and they admitted that they were originally developing on the premise that it would be for PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So that and what they said was what you saw was on the E3 would have been like a PC version running on a fairly high frame rate, running fairly smoothly, but it would have been this gen tech running it. So another thing that has been brought up, which I thought was interesting, CD Projekt Red have very strongly pushed this idea that they're not going with a procedurally generated sort of landscape slash side quest sort of deal, like we saw in, say, Fallout 4 with the Radiant quests. Everything is going to be handcrafted.
Wow.
And to more effect, they want the side quests to be designed to be as impactful as the main quests, and to not feel like fillers or shit just there to kill time between time frames or just to give you more money to get the next mission. They want everything to be meaningful and be as impactful as the story.
Well, they did that with The Witcher 3. Yeah, that was not one mission was pointless.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, the fact that they're just reiterating that, and they've already proven that they can do that, I think we're in for a hell of a story in this game. So the last bit that I have that's all part of this, all these little tidbits of information, Digitalscapes, who helped on, what was the game that had the Be the Zombie multiplayer? What was that zombie game? Dead Before? No,
Dying Light.
Dying Light. They have been recruited by CD Projekt Red to help them with the multiplayer part of their game, which, from what I can tell,
that was multiplayer.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. So, from what I've gathered, the game will be released without it, and it will be a later DLC / add-on to the game after it's been made. But they have stated that their multiplayer is in R&D at the moment, so most definitely coming. So yeah, look, that's some. I was excited when I heard some of this stuff. I did hear another rumor. I haven't fleshed it out yet. There's possibly a microtransaction system, but that's pretty loose. I haven't fleshed that one out yet. But when I do, I'll let you guys know what I find out.
As much as we hate to say it, it's a given.
Well, yeah. Look,
anything that's online, like I didn't bring it up with Red Dead, but because it's kind of a given. But Red Dead Online is going to have microtransactions.
Oh shit! Yeah. Look, you only have to look at GTA 5.
Exactly.
All those cash cards. Look, there's going to be, you know, caches of gold bars that you can buy, or you know, you buy the safe, buy the wagon, buy the, you know, the fort of fortune, you know, all that shit. They'll sell it somehow. It'd be, who knows. So yeah, look, the fact that it's been questioned and it's a rumor out there. And like I said, now we know that there's a multiplayer part coming out to it. It's probably given that there'll be some sort of microtransaction system attached to it. Hopefully not attached to the single player game, because that's never a good look or a good move by anyone. But look, what can we do? Yeah. But yeah, that's those are the bits of information. If you guys have any that you've heard, more than that, by all means, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. So, you know, I'm telling you what I've found. You guys might have heard something else or seen something else. I'm excited. This is making me excited. Yeah, giddy up.
Good stuff.
I'm even more excited that I know it might be next year.
That's that's a nice little rumor. Yeah. Hey, I've helped you with your debt a little bit. Your Merge Planes debt.
I had a mouthful of bourbon. I'm sitting there going, thinking about it, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, swallow! I know what he's talking about. A Merge Plane debt."
You and your drink.
Warning. This section of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast has been dumped for unauthorised use of a word previously placed onto the banned list. The rest of the show will continue after a few short moments. We do apologise for any inconveniences.
Yes, so your merge plane debt. So last week, my in-laws were up. And they've come over.
So you had a lot of time to play merge planes.
No. So we were sitting out the back. We had dinner, barbecue. You know, it's pretty good. And I was talking to my father-in-law. And I think I put my phone down on the table, and I hit it by mistake. It wasn't even playing it. I hit it, and it come up. And he's like, "Oh, what's that?" And Tara saw it, my wife. And has just gone, oh, that's stupid. You know, it does nothing. He has it there while we're watching a show because it just goes in the background. You don't have to do anything with it. And he's like, really, what's that? And I went, oh, it's called merge planes. And he's gone, oh, okay. He goes, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, you just, make money. You merge planes to get to the bigger one. And he's like, oh, right. And then he downloaded
it. Yep. Gotcha.
So we've got another one.
Yeah. Look, it's that simple, isn't it? The concept. People look at it and go, oh, that looks like fun. And then a couple of years later, you're like, why can't I quit you?
Why can I not put you down? Let me get down.
The last time we mentioned this, I said that I was trying to get the little X-Wing, right?
Have you got the X-Wing?
So, funnily enough, after that episode, I actually stopped playing merge planes for until this weekend, actually.
Ooh.
I picked back up again. I had some sobriety.
I must admit, mine's...
But I relapsed.
Mine's nowhere near as bad as it was.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I did play it until I got the X-Wing. So I now know what the X-Wing is.
Is it an X-Wing?
Yeah, it's totally an X-Wing. Awesome. I'll take a photo of it and I'll put it up on the Discord channel so people can see. I'll put it up on the podcast channel so people can see so you don't have to play it. You don't have to get as addicted to crack as I did to see how far down over the rainbow the white trail can take you. The monkey on my back has been riding me.
Yeah.
So
Well, g'day Skrill. How are you, mate? Welcome to this chat. Welcome to the show, I should say. Thanks for dropping in. Mate, well, the only other game that I've played this week... Actually, you know what? We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Forza. Have you done your weeklies? Forza. Have you started your weeklies over the weekend, or...?
I did. My weeklies are done, within 30 seconds of them dropping these days.
Yeah.
I just got... So, let's put it this way. So, you can see what the Forza-thon's going to be for the month, right?
Yeah, so you get ready to go.
So, the day that I get those updates, I have the 4 cars that I need for the 4 Forza-thons set up, ready to go. So, literally, I turn it on, I pick the car, I get the first one done the moment I start the game, and then I do the other 3 challenges, and then I don't really need it, to be honest. I have so many points, I can just buy whatever's in the store, and it's actually gotten to the point where I actually own the stuff that's in the store already, just thanks to wheel spins.
Yep.
But I actually don't think in the last 3 Forza-thons I've actually need to buy any of the actual Forza-thon cars because I've already got them. And this week was no exception. At that BMW, I've had that for weeks. So,
I've really got to put some more time into that.
Yeah, look.
Yeah. It's just, that's the problem. It's the time that I just don't have. And
you know what? I would put a lot more time into it, but Red Dead is sucking a lot of my time. I got to be honest. For all the things we talk shit about Red Dead for, it is good enough to keep me away from Forza Horizon 4, and that is saying something.
Jeez, mate, we've got to put that on a poster. We'll make a mint.
I know. Not enough for me to neglect it completely. I'm still doing my weekly challenges, but enough where I feel like I'm neglecting some of my other things, like my livery creations and stuff like that. I'm not doing nearly enough on those, and while I've already prestiged my character level, which I've found out you can do. I still haven't unlocked the Goliath yet, because I still haven't maxed out my road racing rank yet.
Goliath?
Yeah.
What's the Goliath?
The Goliath is the big race. This is kind of the end game content.
The end game, the 50 lapper or something?
Well, you can. A lot of people do the 50 laps to kind of, the 13 hours of racing just so they can level up or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? When I was 18, I had that time. I don't have that time anymore.
Yeah, this is true. So I'll do one lap and just say it's done. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'll do. And then, in the last one, I used to do just 10 lappers, because that was like a couple hours. So in one sitting, I could do one race, and then the next day you do one, and it ranked me up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Forza Edition M5, Mr. Squirrel. That's what this week's Forzathon Forza Edition car is. Yep. Yeah. What can I say? Yeah, so there's not much I can say about it, except for, once again, we're in spring. The challenges are using a Caterham R500 Superlight.
Mm-hmm.
It was relatively easy this week. I actually forgotten how good that car is. It is stupid good. I now want the Forza. There is a Forza edition of that car. I now want the Forza edition of that car, because I'll use it more often. That is, I remember having one in the last one, the last Horizon, and I remember it being like, I think I just overworked it because it was rowdy as hell. It was kind of good for like speed zones, I think, at best, but it wasn't a very good car. But I tuned this one sensibly this time, and it just decimates the opponents. Like, almost like was at the point where I'm like, you know what, I should just put it on unbeatable, because this is how good the car is. I am just like murdering people. I'm on like pro. I'm like on one step off unbeatable anyway. And like, I was launching this car, and before we got the first turn, I was like in second place from like 10th or wherever it puts you when you're in pro. Okay. Like, I was just murdering the field. It is a stupidly good car. Now, maybe I'm just good at tuning. I don't know, but I'm just going to say that the car is ridiculously good. So
awesome. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Well, mate, being as I've only got one other, do you want to let us know about the Golden Joystick Awards?
Sure.
I saw what got Game of the Year on Golden Joystick Awards, and I'm a little dumbfounded.
So the Ultimate Game of the Year? So the top honour?
I think it was the top honour.
All right. Well, I'll go through what I've got. We'll see. All right. So the big winner for a number of awards this year was God of War. It picked up 4.
Mm-hmm.
5 if you include SAE Santa Monica also got Best Studio of the Year.
Awesome. Nice.
But God of War got it for Best Storytelling, Best Visual Design, Best Audio, and it got PlayStation Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice swag for them. PUBG Mobile got Best Mobile Game. Forza Horizon 4 got Best Xbox, the Xbox Game of the Year award. Octopath Traveler got Nintendo Game of the Year. Subnautica got PC Game of the Year. Red Dead Redemption 2 got Critics' Choice. And that's all it got.
Yep.
So, I mean, it got beaten by God of War for visual design. So, go figure. What can I say about that? Outstanding contribution for 2018 was won by the Xbox Adaptive Controller.
Well deserving that one. Yeah,
totally. The Lifetime Achievement Award was won by Miyazaki, the guy who created Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. And yeah, the Ultimate Game of the Year also won Best Competitive Game of the Year.
Yep.
Was Fortnite.
Yeah.
So, and look, what I say, I said last week when we were talking about potential candidates, I thought Fortnite was in with a fairly strong chance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well,
look.
Fortnite's definitely been this global phenomenon. Hell, it got me to spend money on a free game. Like,
Yeah, look,
it's,
that's what I'm saying. It's a free game.
and
It's making stupid amounts of money for being a free game, and there's a ton of people playing it.
Yep.
And to be fair, while it's not my cup of tea, I can see why people find it fun.
yeah, exactly. You can see,
So,
and the mechanics are there, and
yep.
the one of the big things that I always enjoy about it, because there's a lot of people out there that I've played with, and it's a different game every time. But the concept's the same, but unless you're dropping into the same place, you've got to go a different route. You're gonna meet different players of different levels along the way, and you can have a game where you drop in and you're the one of the first ones dead, or you can have a game where you do exactly the same stuff. You've still got the same skill level, but you're finishing second, first. It just depends on the game. It's always a great way of doing it. So yeah.
It's it's easy to get into, but hard to master. It's one of those games,
But yeah,
So,
I wouldn't expect it for a Game of the Year thing. That's what threw me when I saw it. It's like, really? I can kind of understand it, but and I can understand the niche that it's in, that it has.
Yep.
And as an overall Game of the Year, I don't see that side of it. But that's just me.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you have to give it its due in the fact that as much as PUBG was probably genre defining, this was genre.
Well, Fortnite
genre
was all
winning.
encompassing, wasn't it?
It was the as much as PUBG started it, the trend, Fortnite definitely capitalized and pretty much set the standard.
Yeah,
in a sense.
PUBG
Now,
is a bit of a
might
niche
argue with
within
me on
a
that,
niche,
but,
whereas Fortnite, encompasses everybody. Anyone can pick it up and play it.
Yep.
Hell, I've had my 6-year-old playing it just because she thought it was funny. Because I showed her how to do the dancing emotes, so that's all she did.
Yep.
And like she finished in the top 20.
Yeah.
Just because she didn't come across anyone. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was the Golden Joystick Awards for 2018.
Well, mate, the last bit of detail that I've got is for Fallout 76. So I've been back out into the wastelands, played a whole lot more. I've got my review. I've done the recording for it, the voiceover, and so I'm just finalising and putting finishing touches on the actual video itself to play along with my review. And you know what? I don't like all the negativity that's around behind it, because I don't think people are looking at it for what it actually means and what it actually is. But again, people went in with an expectation. I didn't. I expected it, to be quite frank with you, I expected it to suck.
Yep.
I expected Elder Scrolls Online, but with no NPCs. So I expected it kind of to suck. I've actually been pleasantly surprised by what it is. And the premise for it, I suppose the best way to describe it is it's a good platform. It's in no means and no ways a finished game, but it is actually a good platform to start with.
Yep.
And, I love Elder Scrolls Online. I love the Elder Scrolls. I love Fallout. I even enjoyed Fallout 4. I platinumed the thing. And it's there. So you can see it. It might be a lot off in the distance, but you can see the game that they're aiming for, I think.
Yeah, look, well, I haven't played it. Once again, a lot of YouTube, so I've watched a fair amount on it. And look, you're right. There's a lot of hate in the community for it. And there's some things that I sit back and I try. By watching it, I try and be objective. And there's some stuff in there that people rage about that I'm just like, you know what? Okay, you're allowed to rage if that annoys you, but for me, if it doesn't break the game to the point where I can't play it, then it's something I can forgive. especially on a game that's multiplayer and they're trying to be fairly adventurous about what they do within the space of being online. Like, if you look at the premise, like what the game is as a whole and how that has to fit into an online world, it's kind of hectic. So, you know, when people sort of sit there and they're like, the shadows are dependent on which way you're looking and stuff like that, and you know, okay, it breaks the immersiveness, but can you still play the game? Sure. Now, when there's enemies that are invisible, you know, like, okay, that's annoying, and yes, that can be a moment in the game that's frustrating, but at the end of the day, that's still something I can forgive for what they're trying to do.
I have a question about it, those sorts of things. You see these glitches, and a lot of people have seen the glitches. Personally, I haven't seen any of them. Not one. I don't have any funny little video to put up. Nothing. Do you think that some of these glitches that are happening are because people are playing it on a PC that's not capable?
So I have an interesting take on that, because I watched a video where a guy was playing on PC, and one of his biggest gripes was, he said, when he goes, look, Bethesda sent me a code through a review code, and he goes, in the beta, when I started playing the beta, I wanted to like this game. I walked in going, I really want to like this game, but he said, I had troubles with the beta. Yep. When it released, day one, I played it, and he said, I hate to say this, but my intro into day one was pretty much the same as the beta, in which I spent the first hour or so fucking around with settings to try and get the game to run smoothly. Yep. And he said, at no point, no matter how much I dropped stuff back and down and tried to bottom this thing out, did I get something that felt like a smooth running game?
Okay, yeah. Because I'm playing on an Xbox One S.
Yeah. And, you know, I get the impression that a lot of the PC is a big problem. And there's some choices that Bethesda have made to try and quickly rectify issues that were in the beta that have severely throttled the capability of the PC version. Mm-hmm. Right? They've limited to like 62 frames a second and stuff like that. Okay. Just to try and to get around the so a lot of the physics in game is determined on the frame rate of the game. Yeah, right. Okay. So people were hacking the physics with the frame rate. Now, the fact that that is still a thing in 2018 in a game engine is ridiculous. And people have a right to be mad about that, because that's just fucking lazy. As one dude, I quote him, he goes, it's 2018. You have other choices. Fucking license Unreal 4 for sake. Like, it's not that fucking hard.
Yeah.
The fact that you're still doing this is a joke. He goes, it's so dumb, I actually can't think of a metaphor to run with this to show you how dumb it is. Like, so there's things like that. Those things I can't forgive. Like the things that people are finding glitches in the game that were a problem in Fallout 4 that were patched, but because the patch can't be used in 76, the problems are re-emerging. Now, for me, that's just lazy.
Yeah, 100%.
The game's been around for 2 years. You had 2 years to fix that, and you've incorporated it in your new game. That's wrong, right? That's stuff people have a right to be mad about. Now, the problem is that those things happen. People get mad about those things. So then that extrapolates into, well, guess what? You're also doing this wrong. Like, why is the sun shining out of the ground? And, you know, why when I look at this angle, is there a sign? And then I move my head like a frame and the sign disappears. Or, you know, why is there a Brahmin spawned into the... Oh, no, it's gone now. You know, stuff like that. People just run off the back of the things that are genuine problems. And then the stuff that's the little things that then just add up and make people really angry about the whole thing. And I think that's where the anger is coming from.
Yeah, exactly. And Skrill's actually enjoying it, which is good to hear. He's he does bring up something that I have experienced, He's playing it on the One X, and only time he's finding it jittery is server lags. The servers are rough.
Yep.
Skrill, the servers are rough. That's an understatement, mate.
Oh, look, I watched the video on servers, and yeah, if that is anything, then yeah, it's more than rough. They don't even feel like dedicated servers by the looks of it.
To give you an idea,
they promise.
Yeah. Well, to give you an idea, I'm on NBN. I'm on a 50 megabit connection, and I get a lot of lag where the game just freezes. So you can be getting shot in the face, and then you just can't move, and then all of a sudden you jump and you've moved somewhere else. And I've also been booted a handful of times now.
Yeah, I watched a dude. He hadn't even got through character creation, and the servers cut on him. Like, that's, once again, people have a right to be angry about that. That's game breaking shit. So I think Bethesda have a long way to go with this. To be fair, and I'm once again I'm reiterating something I heard someone else say, but I wholeheartedly agree with from what I've seen, is this genuinely deserved to stay in the oven an extra year. Just cook it just for a little bit longer.
Maybe a little bit longer. Another year is probably a bit harsh, but it's, you know what? It's the startings of an MMO. Really, that's what it is. It's just that.
Oh look, yeah.
They could have had the choice to release it now, and grow from that, or hold it off for another 12 months. And I think releasing it now, it's got its good points, it's got its bad points, but yeah, there's a lot of work to be done in the background.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played it. I'm only running off what I've seen, and like I said, because of that, I try to be fairly kind and look at it fairly optimistically, because the people that are showing these videos are clearly pissed off, so they're trying to show it in the most pissed off version that they have.
They're showing the angry version of it, mate. But yeah, look, like I said, I'm nearly finished my review, so it will be up shortly, and I'll bring my disc around. You can have a crack. Yeah. So it's all good.
So with the story, how are you finding traveling through the story? Because for me, and like for me, I said this last week. Oh, all right, okay. You too busy playing other games?
You know what I... Well, no. It's not that I'm too busy for playing other games. When I get on there, I go on and I go, I'm going to go through the story. I'm going to... Oh, my God, what is that? Yeah. Oh, look at...
Squirrel.
Yeah. Oh, squirrel! Yeah, so it's... Yeah, I'm still up. I'm in an area that I should not be.
Yep.
And there are characters and bad guys that are, twice, 3 times the level that I am. I'm still able to defeat them. And so I've gone, well, fuck it then. I'm just going to keep going and doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a point that I made last week about no NPCs and how hard that is to get people through the story.
Yes.
It was another thing that I heard reiterated watching the videos, where people were struggling with the story because they're either having to read or the holotapes are just not as engaging.
I was elected to lead, not to read. Yeah.
Exactly. And the holotapes aren't as engaging as NPCs because you're not getting that interaction.
Yeah, there's no interaction. And you know what? There's no interaction from other players either.
Yeah.
If you want to play this game as a multiplayer game, questing with other people, you need to know who those other people are. Because no one will help you.
Well, the other thing is, I was thinking about this while I was watching it. I'm like going, all right, so the premise is that there's no other... The reason that there's this loneliness feel is that you're the first ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other people. That's the other reason there's no NPCs. There's the first people. There's no out there. So what possible quests could there be to do? Like, you're just finding holotapes and stuff of people that are dead.
No. There is that side of it, yeah. There's little bits of lore and shit like that that's happened. You've got the main story, though, and this is the bit where I went wandering off, so I haven't played a lot of it. first point of call is you need to find the overseer from 76. So you're following in their footsteps. So you go to a campsite where the overseer was, and from that campsite you have to go somewhere else. And then from that spot, you've got to go and find people that were from Vault 76 that have gone off to do, whether it be they've gone off to find water, they've gone off to find food or whatever, and you've got to find what happened to them. So you're following those footsteps.
Yep.
So the story is there. You've just got to... Unfortunately, with the way that it is being portrayed, you need to play it yourself.
Yep.
So hold off that judgment until you've had a crack.
Oh, look, it's not really a judgment on my behalf.
Well,
it's more a thought and a question I had.
Yeah, so it's hard to explain without going into spoilers, and I'd like you to experience it for yourself, because it is a different way of doing it, and it's its own way of doing it. Yep. But it is missing. It is lacking. I won't deny that at all. But it does still work.
Okay. So does it lead you by the nose, the story? Does it like, all right, you have a marker, you go to the marker, do whatever it tells you to do, and then there's another marker, you go to that marker, and you do what it tells you to do.
Pretty much.
I had a hope for a glinting second. There's just like, all right, find the overseer, and then just lets you wander and work it out for yourself. I wish they'd go back to that, because that's what Fallout 2 was, and that's what made that game so incredibly good. Yeah. Also made it so incredibly easy to fail the game.
Well, that's the thing, mate. In this day and age, no one likes to fail. You get fucking, participation awards just because you turn up and shake somebody's hand. Like, it's you do have to have, for that greater audience, they do want to be led.
Yeah,
And whereas for me, I'd like to go, okay, I've got to go to XYZ. Okay, where's that on the map? Northwest? All right, let's off we go.
Yep.
I'd like that. You'd like that. There might be a version and a way to do that later down the track. Or there could be something in the settings. I don't know. I haven't looked for it. I will, now that you've brought it up. But,
yeah, because like the premise of number 2 was your tribe's dying, and like you need to find a Gek for your tribe to survive, and like literally the wise old dude, your tribal leader, goes, "Look, I really don't know where you can find a Gek, but there's like a town just sort of east of here. Maybe you can start searching there." And literally, it doesn't lead you by the nose. You literally have to find somewhere on the map. There's a Gek. You just have to find it.
Yep.
But if you get sidetracked, and like by the time I actually went back to, the first time I played through, by the time I got a Gek and got back to my tribe, 5 in-game years had passed.
Yeah.
I'd been walking around for 5 years in the game, and by the time I got back, that was 5 years that they didn't have a Gek, so they were dead. They were all dead. Like, the whole tribe was dead. But the game doesn't end. Like, you can just keep going. You just go, oh, my tribe's dead. All right, well, I'll go back to my wife in...
Let's make another one.
And, let's, or I can go back to being a professional boxer, or I go back to work for the either Brotherhood Steel or, whoever, and be a bodyguard or a grunt or whatever. That was the beauty of the game. You could be whatever you wanted.
Exactly.
So,
but let's leave that there, because we could really go around and around with 4.
Yeah, totally. But that's what I've heard.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, mate, fill us in on the Xbox discless.
Well, it's an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing.
Yep.
And it will be discless.
Wow.
No diskies. No diskies in there. I know. So, after all the hubbub, when they tried to bring out the original Xbox One as a download-only, non-disc gaming sensation, everyone lost their shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they smartly a big shit sandwich and then put a drive in their console. Fast forward to apparently spring, and I'm assuming American spring next year, so our autumn next year, we will have a variant of the Xbox which will have nil drive. And for those people that only download their games, you now have the option to buy a slightly cheaper, because it will be, console. Yeah, so...
And then the Xbox store can monopolise the market. You'll pay twice as much for video games.
Oh, yes. There is that. You know, and the whole...
Oh, sorry, Snoogs being a negative prick again. Oh, well.
Second-hand gaming is...
Gone.
Gone. Can't sell your games. And to be fair, I really can't complain about that, because I don't think I've ever sold a game. I think I've got just about every single one, except the ones that I traded in, that's probably more of an issue.
I've not sold it. I've not sold games. I've traded in though.
Yeah.
Hell, I've got the 1S because I traded games in my original Xbox, and I got the 1S for nothing.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe if you leave them on your hard drive, you just these come with it.
These come with the games, and that's the password. There you go.
Yeah.
Do with it as you wish.
Yeah, look, I don't know how that's going to work. But anyway, look, the discless is available. It is slightly cheaper. I didn't quite catch the price, but yeah, look, it'll be out next year.
It'll be inflated
That's all
in
I can tell you
Australia.
about it. Yeah, maybe. But look, I don't even think the Australian market can justify having one that's just as expensive as everything else. So it will be slightly cheaper than the ones we've got now. So.
All right, well, that's it for video game discussion. How about we head on to What If? Greg, what if, mate? Take it away.
What
Just
if...
while I sit over here and have a...
Warning. This section of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast has been dumped for unauthorised use of a word previously placed onto the banned list. The rest of the show will continue after a few short moments. We do apologise for any inconveniences.
So by now, everyone knows what if is. It's just blue sky thought session where I come up with a concept and then we discuss what we'd like out of it. This week's is I've been obviously playing a lot of Red Dead. Snoogs has been playing a lot of Red Dead. Luke and Rem have been playing a lot of Red Dead. It's a lot of Red Dead. But on top of that, I've been watching a lot on Cyberpunk and also Fallout 76. Starting to get a theme here. Open world games. I decided I would ask the question, if you were to make an open world game, what would be the time frame / setting? Because we've got a lot there. We've got the Old West, we've got post-apocalyptic America, we've got futuristic, might be America, or whatever Cyberpunk's in. Yep. We've even got GTA, which is modern day, Saints Row, which is a futuristic
alternate
modern
reality
day
sort of thing.
Yeah, there's even Red Faction is like a Mars. So what would be your setting for your open world game?
Well, mine, I go back to the old school RTS. Okay, and you since for the life of me, I can't remember which one it was, but you can start off in ancient times and work your way through and grow your civilization. It might have even been a civ. And just sort of, so you start off then and build your dynasty. So say you started off in ancient Egypt and were able to build yourself up. And then you become, you get into the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, blah, 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 and you go through and you can actually have, technical marvels and all that sort of jazz and just sort of keep going and keep increasing what you're doing and growing and moving.
Interesting.
Hmm.
So you'd obviously your character would then be it wouldn't be a single character. You'd be either playing like a family line or something like that.
Yeah, like you could family line like a dynasty or something like that.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be funky.
Yeah, I think there was an old one that was like it might have even been like an early Age of Empires that did something like that.
Yeah,
it didn't come into modern day.
Age of Empires did. Like, there was a bunch of games. Civ and Age of Empires, they both had that sort of similar concept. Where they were RTSs, the way you... Well, sorry, Age of Empires was not... Well, they were both RTSs of sorts. They were just different sort of...
Different versions, yeah.
Different versions. But, you would start off and you would have to upgrade your tech tree and evolve your... Yeah, cool. Squirrel wants GTA in 1980s Australia.
That's 1980 Australia. That's a good year.
Yeah, so you play as a newborn called Snoogs.
Newborn Snoogs, 1980.
Yeah.
Come out with a mullet.
Yeah. That wouldn't be bad. That's...
Yeah, belting around in the... What was it? The VB Commodore? Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been... It would have been... You had the money if you're in that, man.
Yeah, VB Commodore with a Marlboro.
It would be kind of like running on empty in GTA.
Oh, it would be.
Yeah, how good would that be?
There's a blast from the past. Jeez.
You know what? You need to come round. We'll have a couple of drinks.
Warning. This section of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast has been dumped for unauthorised use of a word previously placed onto the banned list. The rest of the show will continue after a few short moments. We do apologise for any inconveniences.
And we'll watch Running on Empty.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that sounds awesome plan. So yeah, that would be cool. A lot of Australiana going on there. That would be quite ochre, I think it'd be almost too ochre for Rockstar to handle.
No.
I think they'd fuck it up.
You get Trent from Punchy.
I don't think the women would be treated as well in 1980s Australia as they were in Red Dead 2.
God, terrible.
Yeah, go get me a beer, love. Yeah, you might be able to make you a shandy with the leftovers. What'd you say, woman? Give me a smack.
God.
Not that I want to say that, the violence against women in 1980s said yes, but yeah, fuck yeah, Shazza. Get fucked, Dazza. Yeah, that sounds about right. Lots of Shazzas, lots of Dazzers, lots of VB, both in the Commodore and beer. So you feel you'd have to have, like, on the radio, you'd have to have some really cool beer ads, like I Feel Like a Tui's and the VB theme song, just playing around in ads, like they'd be
just constantly
old school. And you're like, yeah. You just do a big handbrake turn into the pub. Yeah. Give us a Tui's. Feel like it. Crack a tinny.
Well, what's yours, mate?
So I thought, because I don't think this has been done yet. If it has, tell me so I can have a look at it. But I was thinking a time period that has been done to death in first-person shooters, but not in open-world games. Would be a World War II setting.
Yes.
Editing, Lucas here. Now, just jumping in, helping out with this topic here about the World War II open world game. Now, this isn't something that I was aware of. I did a little bit of a Google search here, but the Saboteur well, I've got the Wikipedia explanation here. The Saboteur is a 2009 open-world action-adventure video game set during World War II in German-occupied France. It was published by EA and was the final game developed by Pandemic Studios. The BlackBerry and iOS versions were developed and published by Hands On Mobile. So check out The Saboteur. That's a open-world World War II game. Back to the show.
So you'd either have to I suppose you could branch it out into different parts. Like you could fixate on like one country. Like you could do like having to live during Britain. Now it doesn't have to be war centric. It could be just about living your life within that time period, like in London during the Blitz, or even
it could have nothing to do with the war, but it could be.
Yeah, it could still be. Yeah, you still have to play while the war is happening around you and try not to get dragged into it, kind of thing. You could be like a gangster trying not to get conscripted and just trying to find all those ways of like wheeling and dealing and getting rations for people and stuff like that. But yeah, like any sort of like not just World War II, it could be Cold War. You could like Germany during the Cold War, like around the time of when the Berlin Wall collapsed. Like that could be a cool sort of setting, a bit of an espionage feel about it, like an Atomic Blonde / kind of thing going on there. But yeah, I think open world games where a war is going on, one of the few ones I can think of was Assassin's Creed 3, where it's during the American
Civil War.
War of Independence. No, it's the War of Independence.
Yeah.
So you got that war going on around you. So that I think it has merit, and I think it'd be cool.
Oh, that sounds good. I've got my mind ticking now of all the different things we could do.
That's the joy of this segment.
Yeah.
I love talking about it, but I know you guys out there have got some ideas. So jump on Discord, jump on Facebook, and let us know what your ideas are. I think we have a section in Discord for this exact thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called What If. It's easy to find.
If you're not on Discord, on the Facebook page, mate. Hashtag
totally.
What If.
Hashtag What If.
Exactly.
We'd love to hear it. And then, if you put up between now and the next episode, we'll
read them up.
I'll read them up. I get to talk about them.
Exactly. All right, now on to everyone's favourite segment.
Is it really everyone's favourite?
I think it's everyone's favourite segment.
Did it not get overtaken by Reverberation?
Well, it could have. It could have.
I don't know. I'm just being full of myself now.
You know what, though? I'll have a drink.
Warning. This section of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast has been dumped for unauthorised use of a word previously placed onto the banned list. The rest of the show will continue after a few short moments. We do apologise for any inconveniences.
What was that?
On to What's That Sound? All right, last week's What's That Sound? That would be this one here, if it plays.
I misheard you. I thought you said we're going to do this week's. And then that's why I said we're going to do this week. Last week's.
Last week's, yeah.
Last week's. It's all good.
All good.
Right, I misheard.
Last week's What's That Sound?
But how groovy is that?
It is. It's some pretty sick.
That's why I remembered it. I was just like, oh yeah, I remember this. This is grooving.
Well, Greg, you got last week's What's That Sound? It's only been a day since it released, so I don't think anyone else has had a crack at it yet. But,
I know.
What was it, mate?
It was the load music for GTA 4.
No, it's all good. Screwy's typing. Did he get it? Did Screw get it?
I don't know. I hope he did.
He hasn't got that far in the podcast.
Oh, right.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert. Sorry, Screw, you're out, man.
You're out.
You're out. Sorry.
All right. Well, you ready to hear this week's What's That Sound?
Totally.
All right. Here we go. This is another one from Lucas, so could be anything.
War has changed.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
War has changed.
War has changed.
I know that voice. Hold on, let's have another crack.
Oh, what's the game called?
War has changed.
Oh, what was that game? I'm trying to think of it now.
Ghoul from New Vegas.
Yeah, it's possible.
That's from Screw.
Oh, what's it called?
Come on. What have we got? I'm running on empty here.
Yeah,
War
it was
has changed.
War has changed.
I know that voice.
I want to say there was a game. I remember playing. I'm pretty sure I might have played it on PlayStation. Might have been a PlayStation game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do have it. I'm just trying to look up and see if it's up there. But it was a war game, and it was set in like Abu Dhabi. It was kind of like a alternate sort of future kind of thing.
Ghosts.
Where no, it wasn't ghosts.
Not COD ghosts. No. Yeah, Spec Ops ghosts.
Yeah, Spec Ops: The Line. That was the one I was thinking of.
Hmm.
Yep.
Is that the one where you could have the heads? You could have the old headset.
No. You're thinking of SOCOM. SOCOM. That was a fun game. Why did they not? I mean, I know they made a sequel to it, but why did they not run with that? That was such a cool idea.
Yeah.
And Manhunt used the same technology, being able to talk through your headset to interact with the game.
Yeah, because
you'd
have the headset on, be nice and quiet, and then Mum would come in and go, "It's dinner time," and then everyone would jump in and get you.
Yep, it was a great way to end the level. Like your mum could literally gank you so hard, like you're like, "Oh well, I guess I have to come to dinner now, can't I?"
Yeah.
Thanks, Mum.
Oh look, you're dead. Off you go. Right. Well, for those playing along at home, here's one more listen for you.
War has changed.
There you go. As always, if you've got an idea, if you've got a thought, if you've got even a maybe, hit us up. Hit us up everywhere. Discord, Facebook. Chuck it somewhere obscure and see if we can find it. Cool. All right. Now, on to... what have we got now? Last words.
Whew, that came around quick.
It did, didn't it? Who the said that? If history only remembers 1 in 1,000 of us, then the future will be filled with stories of who we were and what we did. Sounds very regal. I feel like I should be standing up straight as I say that, and very proud, you know?
Skrill's typing. He might know.
Skrill might know. Assassin's Creed. That's a good thought, mate, but no.
No,
not
we had an Assassin's Creed the other week. Yeah, what's his face? Abdu Alabwim.
Yes. Well, no, this is from Battlefield. Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1.
Ooh, Battlefield 1.
Yes.
If only I'd played that this week. I downloaded it, I just haven't played it.
Yeah, we'll wait and I'll have a crack with you because I've got it downloaded.
Okay. On Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Game Pass.
Game Pass, mate. Well, Games with Gold, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually. It was Games with Gold, so it was even better. It's free and I get to keep it.
It's a freebie. And the Xbox is back in the office, so it's next to the right controller to play it with.
Giddy up.
Because... well, for those listening along at home, I'm going to deliver here what yous are after, what yous want. Greg?
So,
I believe something may have tickled your fancy this week.
Yeah, all right. So I've been saying for the last couple of weeks that I'd find something to rant about, and you know what? It finally hit me. I found something that's annoyed me this week. I wouldn't go quite as far as to say it's real, but it is annoying, and I am going to talk about it and probably get heated. Mm-hmm. So, you know, strap in, put your seatbelts on your eyebrows or whatever it is you need to do.
Squirrel's getting his popcorn ready.
Giddy up. What grinds Greg's gears? It's the what GGG. So we alluded to this last week that PlayStation isn't going to E3. No. Now, as much as that's probably rant worthy, that's not what my rant is about. My rant is about the plethora of people, and I use that loosely, on Twitter who want to bang on about this shit. Like they think they have a reason or an understanding of what the fuck is going on, when it's quite clearly PlayStation has nothing to do at E3, so they're just not wasting their money. It's pretty fucking simple. However, it seems that people want to use the phrases like, it's the end of E3. No, it's not. It's an industry show. Hence the word industry, not Sony. It's not a Sony show. It's an industry show. You know, Sony is one piece of a very large fucking industry. So no, it's not the end of E3 just because Sony has nothing to fucking show.
It's just
shut the fuck up.
It's just the end of Tuesday morning.
Yeah, look, it's just the end of... PS fanboys aren't going to fucking wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and watch it, right? Because all they're going to do is get fucking jealous because Xbox has got a fucking massive fucking show like they do every year. Anyway, then there's the, what was it? No, they want to do their own shit at their own time. Have you thought maybe that if PlayStation stopped doing their own shit at their own time, they might have something for E3? Have you thought about that for 2 seconds? So really, they're walking away from a show for them, the industry, to then talk to people of the industry just to do their own shit at their own time. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, between the two, really, who gives a toss? Whether they want to do it then or now or later, it doesn't matter. The fact is that it still remains they've got nothing to show. So stop talking about it. I find the whole thing completely and utterly insane that people will argue about this shit. It's so dumb. Like, PlayStation have already admitted, we've just got nothing to do, so we're not going to waste the money. It's that simple. Yet we still have to hear people go, the PlayStation fanboys are like in damage control about, no, it's the end of E3. No, the PlayStation, just know that E3 shit, they don't want to be involved anymore. They'll be there in 2020, I guarantee.
Yeah, of course they will.
Last year we were all going, last year was like, can't wait to see PlayStation, they're going to dominate. And guess what? They didn't. They were shit. Mm-hmm. Because they had nothing to show. Or very little. And they even have less this time, and they realized that, hang on. No, we got nothing to show, so fuck it, we're not going. You know what? That's called a sensible business decision. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. So stop making it out to be something more or less. It's not the end of an industry, it's not the end of an era, it's not the end of anything. It's just a smart business choice.
It's just 2019.
Get the fuck over it.
Best troll of the weekend? Tweet from Xbox. Yep. We are looking forward to seeing you all at E3 2019.
Yep. So, you know what, PlayStation, you go have fun. You have a sabbatical. You come back in 2020 with the PS5 because we know it's coming. You're not going to do anything original there. So come along. Enjoy 2020. We'll enjoy 19 without you. We probably won't even think about it. We probably won't miss you at all.
No. Although there is one thing that I'm concerned about.
What's that?
That it, not even that I'm concerned about it, kind of gives us an answer up front. So they're not doing anything for their well, they haven't because it's now already passed their PlayStation experience, which is usually beginning in November. That didn't happen this year. They've walked away from E3 next year. Cool, business decision. They don't have much to show. They've said E3 is about what's new and exciting and what's on the horizon. They don't have that. They've showed what they're doing and what they're working on. So, cool. No worries. Does that mean that we're not going to get anything next year? Like, are we not getting The Last of Us? Is this like a definite nail that we're not getting The Last of Us 2 next year? Are we not getting Days Gone? Although Days Gone, they said it was already beginning of the year, didn't they?
See, here's the thing. I think they blew their wad last year. Like, all they're going to do is come back and show the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think they can... There you go. There's better uses of our money at the moment than just going to show the same shit. They pretty much have this... They literally did blow their wad last year. They tried... The thing is, it was shit last year. But you could see that they were trying hard to make something of what they had. They just didn't do a very good job of it.
Yep.
And so, and to be fair, they addressed the PlayStation experience thing. Once again, they said it started off as just a way to engage fans, but it's turned into something bigger. And now it actually is no longer what we originally purposed it for. So it's become essentially an E3 in its own. Just specifically for us, and that's not what we intended it for. So they've dialed back on that and said we don't want to do that. But you still have people banging on both sides. I'm not just banging on about PlayStation fanboys here. I'm talking about both sides of the argument. Even the people that are trolling the shit out of the Xbox guys are sitting there going, you guys suck. No, it's just a business decision. Like, get the fuck over it and move on.
Squirrels let us know in the chat the P in PlayStation is for premature.
Totally. In this instance, you can probably take that to the bank.
And I'm spent.
Yep. Look, I filled the cup. Now, they didn't even do that, to be fair. They didn't even fill the cup. They just said there was some stuff in the bottom, and you're just like, yeah, okay, that's...
No, they...
Yeah, do you have that in man size? Like
that Last of Us reveal for the gameplay, that filled the cup for me. That was all I needed from them.
Don't get me wrong. The game looks amazing. Like I'm not seeing him bagging out what they've got. I just think how they went about it was just awkward and clunky and I actually still haven't watched the show. I just watched the videos. Yeah.
And the one video, and the one video that I've watched for the gameplay of The Last of Us, and I've watched it a couple of times, is the one where Luke actually, sat and watched it at the same time and videoed himself, and it's hysterical. If you haven't seen it, check it on your YouTube channel. It's there. It's funny because Luke, being the Last of Us fan that he is, it's well worth the watch just to see him get rather excited and near on. I reckon at one point he gets that stiff, he nearly falls off the chair. So. Speaking of Lucas,
so yeah, that's my rant.
Good stuff.
But yeah, speaking of Lucas,
did you hear about that other show, mate?
I did hear about that other show. I've actually already listened to the first episode of that show.
Oh, so we've got another show. We've literally got that other show.
That other show.
Yeah. So Lucas is a very busy man, as we all are, and few things have changed, and it was one of the things that was causing issue was just timing to be able to come and do the Aussie Gamers Express podcast every week and being able to bring that quality that he's always brought. So now, a bit of a off-the-cuff thing, as I like to say of late, Lucas has got that other show. Pretty much what it is, it's just a short little snippet of, if Lucas feels the want and the urge to put together something to, compliment us or to take a rib out of us or whatever he wants to do with it, that's what it's for. So, yeah, pretty cool. It's his way of giving the podcast itch a scratch. Because let's face it, this is addictive. It's enjoyable to do something like this. So, good on him.
Yeah.
So you'll be hearing more about it. Do you want to fill us in on this week's? Because I've been terrible. I haven't listened to a lot of it yet.
So I was trying to remember exactly what was in it. I know. So he talks about the Astro C40.
Yes.
For those that don't know about that, it's kind of cool. I was going to talk about it today, but then I didn't want to steal his thunder, so
Yep.
I'll leave that. He does a good job of explaining it. It talks about Stan Lee, which we did last show.
I gave him the details for it. Yep.
Yeah, and there was a third thing, which I'm trying to remember what it was now. It was something else. What was it?
Drink.
Warning. This section of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast has been dumped for unauthorised use of a word previously placed onto the banned list. The rest of the show will continue after a few short moments. We do apologise for any inconveniences.
Yeah, I can't remember. What's the third one? It's pissing me off now that I don't remember. Anyway, look, I'll leave that as a surprise for those, so you guys go and listen to it.
Yes.
That's the best way I can sell that. I think I've come off as I've completely forgotten. But look, he makes a comment. He makes some comments about the stuff. Definitely next week. By the time that our next episode comes out, or by the time we're recording it, you guys should have had the opportunity to listen to that other show, in which we can discuss it next show. I know there is one topic that Lucas brings up that I know that I don't wholeheartedly agree with, but I know there is one that I do. So it's
awesome.
A 50-50 shot there where he and I agree. Not that it really matters. It's his show. He can say whatever he likes. Now that I'm on this one without him, I can say whatever I like, except that he'll probably interrupt right now, like here, about how he still has the right to talk over the top of me.
Yeah, I can talk over the top of you as many times as I like, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's worth it's not very long. I think it only goes for like 15 or 20 minutes. But
Yeah. It's not going to be like an hour and a half show like we do, but and it's not going to be an every week thing. It'll be when he has
when he has the option to do it,
the opportunity to do it. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Code word for this week.
Code word. All right. So this week's code word is dubstep.
Dubstep.
Reason for that is this week's clue is Saints Row 4.
I was about to say that. Dubstep gun, Saints Row 4.
Totally. So that now brings up our clue list to... Let me just bring up the list. Wow. Because I just don't want to get it wrong on Liege's All Australia.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just sorry. Sorry for my giggles in the background. I'm looking at Skrill in the chat.
Sure.
Not only does he miss the Grudge disagreements.
So our clues are Silent Hill Homecoming.
Yep.
Dreamweb.
Yep.
The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings. And now we have Saints Row 4. So that's where we're at.
All right.
If you have any ideas, flick me a message on Discord or flick us a message on Facebook and give me your clues, your guesses as to what they are. There's a few. It's obviously a difficult one because I haven't had anyone guess yet. So, yeah, I don't know whether people just don't see the pattern or what, but have a crack. I can only say no, and exactly. I'm pretty gentle.
Let them down gently.
I do. I usually tell you, "Oh, good. That's a good guess. That's a cool idea," but no.
Alrighty, well that's the code word for this week, and that's the end of the show for this week, mate.
Oh, what an energetic show it was too.
What a good, nice bundle of energy that it's been.
It's full of rants and.
Warning. This section of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast has been dumped for unauthorised use of a word previously placed onto the banned list. The rest of the show will continue after a few short moments. We do apologise for any inconveniences.
Unfortunately, you missed the beginning of the show, Squirrel. So
Yeah,
you're
so
kind
you'll have to
well
listen
out.
back.
So, look, maybe editing Lucas will put in a counter, but I have a funny feeling that will put more of an insult than anything else.
All right.
Every time
Well,
it says it, ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding.
thank you very much to everyone that's listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. A special thanks over to Skrill for jumping in and saying g'day live. Thanks to you yourself, Grejio, for all the good stuff and the hard work preparing the show. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics that we've discussed on this show on our Facebook page or on the Discord channel. Links are in the podcast show notes and descriptions. That's all from me. As always, I am Snoogs.
And I have been Grejio.
See us!
Peace.
And Skrill has been Kaza.
He's always Kaza. When is Kaza Kaza?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, to be fair, that's a very philosophical question, that one.
Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter and YouTube, and their links are waiting for you in the podcast description. This podcast is available for your convenience through Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and more. Thanks again for listening. Catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. Editing Lucas, time to wake up, turn my microphone on for some extra content this week. No extra news or anything like that this week. I'm going to make a comment on Greg's rant, whatever his GGG segmenty thing was in Last Words, having a bit of a crack about PlayStation not coming to E3 in 2019 and everyone going, oh no, it's the end of E3. That's a bloody good concern, I think, anyway. See, the problem is in the video game industry, it's very well known for copycatting. The PlayStation 4 Pro, the Xbox One X, the mid-gen refreshes, all that sort of stuff. If one does it, then the other one does it, and things like that. I think it's a fair concern to think that maybe some other big companies may follow suit. It may not happen, and hopefully it's an unlikely thing to happen, but it's something that is a very reasonable concern, I think. If Microsoft does the same thing and does their own little showcases and gives E3 the arse, and then Nintendo does it, and then everybody else does it, and yes, E3 dies, and yes, it's the Electronics Entertainment Expo, it's not a video game expo that everybody thinks, but these are fair concerns. You can blow up as much as you like and say, stop complaining about it, it's not going to happen. But there's a lot of things that we don't ever think are going to happen that actually do happen. Right. I think that's all I've got for my extra content. Go and check out that other show. It's up on YouTube at the moment. I'm trying to get it up on iTunes, but it's taking its sweet-ass time. So I don't know how long that's going to be before it's available on Apple iTunes and all that sort of stuff. But I'll keep trying. There'll be more episodes to come, and I want to get some feedback early on to see if you guys like it, you want more, you will get more, because I enjoy doing it. Oh, what an episode. Had to jump in quite a few times with those banned words. Cut it out. It's banned for a reason. Stick to the rules. Love you guys. Love everyone listening. Excellent show. I really enjoyed that one. Catch us all next time. See ya.